Welcome to Global Mission Child Teens International Broadcasts with Dr. Raymond.
Hello, good day. My name is Raymond. I'm the president of Global Mission Child and Teens International, and today I will be introducing a new series titled The Fundamentals of Parenting. The Fundamentals of Parenting is a very essential topic, and I think it's coming timely because we live in a day and an age where parents are confused, they are perplexed. They do not know what next to do because all they have done have proven ineffective, as children turn out to be exact opposites of all they have invested. Their hope is dashed. They have stretched and they do not know what next to do. The fundamentals of parenting will guide you, will help you to see the light into what to do and how to lay the right foundations for effective and result-oriented child upbringing. I will be mentioning a lot of fundamentals that have been neglected over the years. But in this episode, I will be discussing the number one, which is child expectation. Expectation, they say, is key to manifestation. Whatever you expect, you will definitely see. And I want to use this medium to encourage couples who have been married for a while and have not given birth. I want to tell you that so long as you're passionate, so long as you're optimistic, so long as you're prayerful and you're expecting, God will definitely give you your own child. Children are a gift from God, and God is passionate about giving these gifts to humans, and your own will never elude you. And so what does expectation do to us? Expectation prepares us psychologically and mentally to receive this incoming baby. Expectation helps to create a room in our hearts to receive the incoming child with warmness, love, care, and passion. Scientifically, it is said that child expectation also triggers the release of some hormonal mediators and also enhances some neuronal connections in the brain, preparing couples for parenthood. And so expectation is key to effective parenting. If we must lay the right foundations in parenting, then we must expect children. And there are situations in which children are not expected, and that is the import of this discussion, because they impact negatively on our parenting process. They impact negatively on our parenting methods. I'll mention a few situations, a few scenarios. Number one scenario is when newly married couples make up their mind not to give birth in a short while, and then a baby breaks the protocol and comes in. What do you think will be the fate of that child? This is mad, isn't it? It's a minor situation. Number two situation is when a woman who works with the corporate fame signs a bond not to get pregnant in the next 1 or 2 years for official reasons. And then something happens along the line and then she gets pregnant. And she's held in between two options: whether to take out the baby or to lose her job. And the event that she loses her job and the baby comes, psychologically, what do you think will be her disposition to that child? It's variable. But I tell you, in one way or the other, it may affect the parenting process. The next situation is when parents think they have completed their family size, done a contraceptive, and then all of a sudden the contraceptive method fails and the child comes in again. And they are like, we never expected you. How did you break through the walls of the womb? The next scenario is when parents have given birth to females 1, 2, 3, and they are stretching further to ensure they get a boy, and the next baby comes out to be another girl, and they're like, oh my God, what is this thing? They may want to go again, and it turns out to be a girl. And they're still like, we are not expecting this child. This isn't what we bargained for. The next scenario is when single or teenagers and young adults who are single engage in risky lifestyles resulting in pregnancy. That child stands a risk of being aborted. And in the event that the child is being carried to term, what do you expect will be the hope of the child or the fate of the child? And the last scenario here is when parents are expecting a beautiful child and the child turns out to be a syndromic child. That is heart-wrenching because it's a long emotional situation. And so all these factors affect parenting in one way or the other because they predispose a child to abuse, neglect, and molestation. They affect child bonding and integration. Some parents go as far as telling the child, you were never expected. We never expected you. You were accidental. You were a mistake. How do you expect the child to get incorporated? How do you expect the child to feel loved? How do you expect the child to feel welcomed? The parents may not say it directly, but their attitude, and sometimes when they are offended, they voice it. At the same time, they may say they don't mean it. Now, these situations affect parenting seriously, and we need to address them. Otherwise, if we do not, then our foundations will be faulty. And so parents are wondering, why is my child behaving strange? Why is my child behaving the way it's behaving? Because you have given the child the impression that the child was never expected. You have made the child to feel that he was an accidental phenomenon. And even you have shown in your disposition that you never expected that child. And for other situations, children may be exposed because the parental care is inadequate due to maybe lack of resources or something. Especially in cases where single adults get involved with childbearing. Now, how do we handle situations? I have few advice for you. Number one, if you're willing to have sex, then be willing to get pregnant. Now, in the event that you get pregnant, accept largely whatever comes your way. Remembering that children are always a blessing and they carry a blessing. It may be painful initially, but it will definitely be gainful eventually. My next point of advice is this. It's good to have a sex preference, but don't be so obsessed by it that you're willing to do anything to get it. I know we live in a world where certain groups, certain ethnic groups believe that if you do not have a male child, you have not started and your heritage is lost. But I want to tell you that time and time again, we have seen situations where females uphold the names of the family much more than males. We have seen situations where females remember the family much more than their male counterparts. You never can tell who will become the light and the hope or the star of the family. While it is good to expect a male, never get disappointed when you have all females. Every child has the same input. It's all about the tradition of our elders, and those traditions need to be abolished because they have caused more harm than good. They have affected child upbringing, they have affected parenting and child outcome. Okay, the next point is this: single adults should avoid risky lifestyles so they don't bring in children they never bargained for and expose them to untold sufferings and pains. No matter what you do, if you've gotten it wrong, you've gotten it wrong, and your parenting may never be adequate because you need both parents to parent a child effectively. And finally, in the event that you have a syndromic child, I know it's a long emotional situation, but all you need to do is to stay calm, identify yourself with those who have the same situations, get to know how they're getting along, and integrate yourself. And I tell you, you will definitely be fine. There is no situation that comes to a man, no challenge that comes to a man that he cannot handle. And whatever yours is, brace up and handle it, and you'll be glad you did. I hope you will enjoy this series, and I hope that from now on you will have a large heart towards your children, no matter the situation that brought them in. God bless you. See you in our next episode. Bye bye.